morning, everyone. Dark Ramos here with the Volume Profile Nerd, here to do the morning prep slash rundown for Monday, June 5th, 2023. Let's jump right into it. So the first thing I'm noting on both ES and NQ, or there's a bit of divergence this morning with ES and NQ. ES is opening closer to the POC of Friday, or currently testing it, while NQ is currently closer to its value area low. And it's actually heading towards the POC now, but NQ is slightly weaker, and we can note that here. Doesn't show too much here, but I guess NQ is picking up a little bit here, but ES is closer to its POC. But also, and I don't know if more so, but both ES and NQ are opening within yesterday's range and value. So, we're opening up here for ES, and NQ, we are in yesterday's range, yesterday's value and range. Better trades are likely to set up later in the day when the market shows its hand a bit. Other than that, that's all I'm kind of noting here. Overnight inventory is fairly balanced on ES, and on NQ, most of it is below the settle, but we're heading back to the settle or previous day close here. So I'm not gleaning too much from overnight inventory, and it was mostly sideways over the weekend. So I'm not gleaning too much from overnight inventory. So I'll quickly go over the goal for buyers on ES. Goal for buyers is to find acceptance above Friday's POC, to then head to the overnight high and find acceptance above that. And if acceptance above this, eyes on the value area high and the regular trading hours high closely after. And no change for day plus buyers without getting above the regular trading hours high. And buyers want to convincingly find acceptance above this POC at around 4-290.25 to try for overlapping to higher value, and then they want to get over the value area high and ideally the regular trading hours high to build value higher. Goal for sellers is to stay below the open and find acceptance above Friday's POC to then head towards the previous day close and find acceptance under the previous day close to try for overlapping to lower value. And if acceptance under the previous day close, eyes on the overnight low. If acceptance under the overnight low, eyes on the value area low. And if acceptance under yesterday's value, eyes on the regular trading hours low down here, and no change for day plus sellers without acceptance under the regular trading hours low. And then I'll quickly go over the dailies here for ES. So I might just do everything on ES first, and then I'll move over to NQ, just to not keep going back and forth. But on ES, buyers should be looking for this value area high here of this 425.5622 range at roughly 4333. There is quite a ways to get there, about 40 handles. So I'm going to be referencing the hourlies here, just to see if we get above some hourly levels first before heading to this value area high. And if we reject for some hourlies, I'm looking at this value area high of this 729.810.22 range at roughly 4246.50. All right. And on the hourlies, this is what I'll be paying quite a bit of attention to. And we're currently at the value area low of the 821.822.22 range, and we couldn't find acceptance above the POC on Friday and couldn't find acceptance back into the range in the overnight session. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. And this range here, I should draw it out right now because it's a really nice one. Sellers will want to get through this range for conviction and getting back more convincingly into Friday's candle here and heading back to this value area high of this 825.22 hourly range. So this range here is going to be key. If sellers can get through this, eyes on this value area high here at roughly 426125. And quickly for the day time frame confluence, let's go ahead and add that up. Gotta grab it from here. Here we go. And so let's see here. So buyers want to get above, let me see. Yeah, buyers want to get convincingly above this POC here of this 821, 822 range to convincingly get above Friday's value and the regular trading hours high. And then they want to break above this value area high to continue to press the issue and build value higher. And buyers do want to get back into this range to convincingly get above the overnight high. Then they have this POC to contend with. And if we get back to this range, that means we're getting back to we're getting under the previous day close, and sellers should be looking for the value area low of this range, which roughly coincides with the overnight low and the value area low of this 5-minute range here from Friday. And if below the overnight low, quite a bit of space, and I'm thinking sellers should be trying to get to the value area low first, which is probably the value area high of this bit of balance here. Yep, just about. So sellers want to try to get there, and oops. Okay, no, that's right. Okay, cool. Yeah, they want to try to get to this value area low. And if acceptance under the value area low, sellers should be trying for this POC of this 825.22 range. And if acceptance below this POC, that should mean we're getting under the regular trading hours low right here to head to the value area low of this range at roughly 424325. All right, so essentially buyers want above this POC and sellers want to get below this value area low of this 5-minute range to try for overlapping to lower value. And if buyers get back into this range, they could be trying for overlapping to higher value. All right, so on NQ, let's go over NQ real quick. So like I mentioned, NQ slight relative weakness being just under the POC, while ES is closer to its POC. So goal for buyers on NQ is to stay above the open and find acceptance above this value area low to try for overlapping to higher value. And if acceptance above this value area low, eyes on the previous day close, and right after it's the POC / overnight high. And if buyers get acceptance above this, they want to try to tag the value area high at 14.613.50, and if above the value area high, eyes on the regular trading hours high here at 14.62775. No change for day plus buyers without acceptance above the regular trading hours high. And yep. So yeah, and any failures at these reference, we're looking at the previous reference below. So failure here, maybe back to the overnight high / POC. Failure at the previous day close, maybe back to the value area low, and so on. So a goal for sellers is to stay below the open and try to find acceptance under the value area low to try for lower value. I think sellers are still good if we stay below the POC / overnight high and PDC. So around this area, sellers can defend this, then they could still try for overlapping to lower value because we're currently under the POC. So if sellers defend that, then we could try for, to get below the value area low, or maybe just try for overlapping value. But it's a smaller range here. So if sellers do defend the POC, I'm thinking they want to maybe tag the overnight low. All right, so yeah, goal for sellers to stay below the open, find acceptance under the value area low to then try for the overnight low. And if acceptance under the overnight low, eyes on the regular trading hours low. No change for day plus sellers without getting under the regular trading hours low. Sellers are positioned a bit better, being closer to the value area low, but if buyers do defend this, then they could try for overlapping to higher value here. Okay, on the daily, NQ is not able to find acceptance at the moment above the value area high of this 411, 421.22 range at 14.57875. I feel like I mentioned this already, but yeah, But I will be watching on NQ. I'm going to be watching this little balance here. Oops. This little balance here from Thursday. We do have, quite a bit of balance here that I can maybe draw up. Let me see. Yeah, so I'll be watching that balance, and then I'll grab this here. I think sellers want to get through this as well. Just going to add that here. And it probably, let's see if it was reactive. Yeah, we kind of oscillated around the POC of this balance here. So sellers, I think, do want to get through that. And we have this bit of balance from up here. So if getting above this will be important for buyers to get above this range from Friday to convincingly get above the value area high of the 411, 421, 22 range to try to head back into the 211, 217 range, with the value area high being at 14,615.50. So I'm thinking if above this bit of balance, that could be the next target for buyers to try to get back into this range. And if convincingly back into this range, eyes on the POC at 211, eyes on the POC at 14,914.25, which is quite a ways away. So it'd be a tall order for buyers. So I'm going to be looking at some hourlies as well. Okay, so on the hourlies for NQ, we are currently above the value area high of this 419, 421, 22 range right here. We couldn't find acceptance back into it in the overnight session. So yeah, and we couldn't quite get to this value area low in Friday session. So I'm thinking goal for buyers is to hold this to try to get to this value area low at of this 318, 322, 22 range at 14,633.25. So I'm thinking buyers want this, and if acceptance below this value area high, sellers should be looking for this POC at roughly 419, the POC at roughly 14,439.75, and it's from 419, 421.22. Yeah, so that's what I got there. And let me see here. Yeah, maybe we tag the POC, and if we hold this, we could try for this POC after, but we shall see. Yeah, so let's go to the daytime frame confluence. Let me just grab this here and let's take a look. So yeah, buyers want convincingly back into this range to get above the regular trading hours high, since the value area low of this range is roughly at the value area since the value area low is roughly at the regular trading hours high. And so yeah, buyers want to get back into this range to convincingly get above Friday's value and try to get above Friday's range by getting above the regular trading hours high. Sellers do want to hold the POC here to try to head back into this range to get under yesterday's value. So if we get back into this range, we're convincingly below Friday's value, and sellers could be trying for the overnight low next. And if heading towards this POC, it means sellers are looking to find acceptance under Friday's range by getting under the regular trading hours low. But sellers do have to get under the overnight low first, then the regular trading hours low to head to this POC here. All right, so I'll be keeping an eye on this range above here and this range below here. Maybe buyers tag this first and maybe head back here. Potential for oscillation here. But for conviction, I either want sellers to get in here or buyers to get back in here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. There was something else I was going to mention. Multiple passes through the open, and it could be suggestive of balance. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. And again, we are within yesterday's range in value. So, the better trade might be a bit later when the market shows its hand a bit. All right, so that's all I got for this morning. Let's quickly go over sectors and tech. So just real quickly. So yeah, ES is a little bit closer to its high of yesterday. There's a value area high up here that I'll be keeping an eye on. right up here. And if no acceptance there, sellers should be looking for the POC here at 42653. QQQ. QQQ, we are holding this value area low here, so maybe buyers want this POC at 35895. But we are kind of in the middle of yesterday's range, so gonna see how that plays out first. But if we hold the low of yesterday, that means we're holding this value area low, and we could head to this POC at 35895. All right, XLF, opening closer to the high of yesterday. I think I will have to draw another range. We do have some price action up here. So we shall see, but I'm thinking buyers want this value area low at roughly 3357, 3356. Otherwise, sellers could look to get back into this range below here, with the value area low being at 3249. Okay, IWM, opening closer to the high of yesterday. We have this POC up here, and sellers should be trying for this value area low here. I'm just going to try to move a bit quicker here. XLE, gap up open. Buyers should be looking for this POC here at 81.81. But maybe sellers pull back to this value area low first for an hourly higher low. And this value area low is at 80.38. XBI, buyers should be looking for this value area low here at 87, roughly 87.12. But sellers could be looking for this value area high here first at 85.98.99, roughly 86 psychological. So buyers want into this range, sellers want back into this range. But we do have a small gap up, so we'll see what buyers can do with that. XLV, closer to the high of yesterday. I'm looking at this value area high here at roughly 130.85 that I mentioned a few days ago, and buyers are doing a great job getting there. If above this, I'm keeping an eye on this value area low here at roughly 132.29, I'll say. Yeah, 132.29. All right. Yeah, so that's XLV. If buyers can't find acceptance above this, I'm thinking sellers want back to this range, and maybe there's a little bit of balance here that buyers hold. But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on buyers trying to get to this. And the value area high here of this range is at roughly 127.82. XLU, we are at the value area low of this range, currently holding it. If we hold it, buyers should be looking for this POC at 65.92. If we break below this value area low, eyes on the value area high here of this range at roughly 64.65. Okay, SMH. SMH is below this daily value area low, which gives me kind of bearish vibes on tech. Tech has been very strong with the semiconductors helping a lot. So if semiconductors take a breather, I'm going to be looking for either more rotation with XLF and XLV while NQ takes a breather, or yeah, we shall see with that. But if buyers try for this daily value area low again and fail, I'm going to be looking, I think, for the sell a bit more aggressively on NQ. So yeah, sellers should be looking to defend this value area low at 147.48 here, 147.51, and looking to target this. I think it's a value area high of a daily range at 140.59. Yeah, it's the value area high of this range over here. Okay, yeah, so that's sectors. SMH is closer to the low of yesterday, which is notable. So yeah, SMH is the weakest sector today. Quickly, I'll go over tech. So Apple, gap up open. I think we're at all-time highs in pre-market. We are right at all-time highs in pre-market, which is notable. So we shall see if buyers can continue to press the issue. So buyers do want to hold the high of yesterday, just keeping an eye on that. Otherwise, we're getting back into this daily range. Amazon, notable divergence closer to the low of yesterday. Looks like buyers are holding this POC, so buyers might want to try to get to this back to this POC at 127.45. We do have a bit of a gap here that buyers could try to fill or get through, with the value area low here being at 125.83, and if above that, eyes on this POC at 127.45. Netflix, more in the middle of the road. High and low of yesterday will be key. This POC will be key for buyers to try to get through, and sellers want to get below this value area low or low of yesterday as well. They're roughly at the same level. So I'm looking at here for this value area low at 473 and the low of yesterday right underneath at 447. If sellers get back into here, we do have a bit of range here that buyers could try to defend, but after that I'm looking at this value area high here at 383.29. Google, closer to the low of yesterday. Sellers should be trying to defend this value area low here to try and head back to this value area high at roughly 122.33. And just gonna move a bit quicker here. So Microsoft opening a bit closer to the low of yesterday. Sellers want to defend this POC at 335.02 to head back to this value area low down here. Buyers want to get above the POC to head back to the value area high up here, closer to the high of yesterday. If below the low of yesterday, I'm thinking sellers want this value area low at 322, roughly 322.35. Meta is under the low of yesterday, so small gap down open. I'm thinking sellers want this value area high here at roughly 365.74. And if above the low of yesterday and we get above the high of yesterday, buyers should be looking for this value area low of this range at roughly 379.15. Tesla, small gap up open at the moment. Buyers should be looking for this POC here at roughly 223.84. And if below this value area low, eyes and the low of yesterday, eyes on this. I think it's a value area high of this range here. So if below the low of yesterday, eyes on this value area low here, or value area high at 206.56. Okay. And if buyers hold this around value area low around 212.45-ish, 215.57, eyes on this POC at 223.84. NVDA, still holding this range that I had in regular trading hours, trying to hold the value area high here. We are below the low of yesterday, so small gap down open. If buyers manage to get above the low of yesterday, it means we're still holding this range, and we could still continue in this potential EQ, high, low, lower high, higher low, and maybe we bounce again to get another lower high and tighten up to then either break in one direction or the other. But again, as long as buyers are holding this range, I think they have possibility for another leg up maybe. And sellers definitely want to get below this POC and then below this range to try to get back into the earnings reaction and squeeze some buyers there. Okay, so that's all I got for this rundown. So Apple, gap up open, Amazon, closer to the low of yesterday, Netflix, middle of the road, Google, a little bit closer to the low of yesterday, Microsoft, a little bit closer to the low of yesterday, Meta, little gap down open, Tesla, little gap up open, NVDA, small gap down open. So a little bit of a mixed bag this morning with tech, but SMH is the weaker sector, and we could tell with NVDA being a bit weaker as well. So we can see that SPY does have a little bit of relative strength because a few sectors are stronger, with XLF being closer to the high of yesterday, IWM closer to the high of yesterday, XLE, gap up open, XBI, little gap up open. Is it? Yeah. XLV closer to the high of yesterday, XLU closer to the high of yesterday, and SMH being the weaker sector. So tech is a mixed bag, Apple being strong is notable, but NVDA being weak is also notable. So we shall see how this morning plays out. There's no data this morning, which is kind of nice. So just all about the open, what buyers and sellers do at the open, and can sellers get below yesterday's value? Can buyers hold yesterday's value to try to head back to the value area high and maybe build value higher? And I'll be looking at some key daily references for Confluence and some key hourly references for Confluence. So maybe buyers want this little gap here first and try to get to 14.63325. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for NQ. And on ES, yeah, if ES can't get back into this range, that'll be notable. So yeah, just gonna see how it plays out. Which sector leads, and how the open looks, and and see if any trades present themselves. All right, so that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the trade review a little bit later today. Thank you.